What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more INXS. Once again, thank you to Nikita for providing not only the album Kick, but a selected assortment of tunes from their catalog that we're now going through. And the next one is called The One Thing. I reacted to an Alphaville song by this name, which is, I think, from a dozen years later. This is from 1982, that was from the Prostitute album 1994 for Alphaville. I don't think there's any connection, at least I don't remember when I reacted to the Alphaville song anyone suggesting that it was a cover of an INXS tune, so presumably it's just coincidental song titling. Nevertheless, I'll probably say something similar to what I said before that reaction, which is to say, The One Thing highlights in a singular fashion some incident, some process, some entity, some person, or some experience for special, indeed unique attention. So in that regard, I wonder what the one thing is, of course, what function it may be serving, how one may identify it. Of course, it could be different for everybody, meaning it wouldn't be something particular across the board, but for each person, the one thing that inspires them or drives them or makes all the difference. So I don't quite know what to make of it, even though it is a very evocative type of phrase. Let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is INXS. The track is The One Thing, and apparently it's from their 1982 album Shabu Shaba. I very much enjoyed that sonically. A grooving guitar. There was a pulsing bass. I didn't notice it at first, but the bass was very steady and pulsing at the bottom of the track, and definitely that little, it wasn't long, but that little saxophone flare up in the middle of the tune had a lot of swag to it. So yeah, a dynamic composition, a tune that in some respects, there was some keyboard in there, and then there was that offset, like, I don't know if that was post-chorus, but that section that came around and which had a slightly different atmosphere than the groovy rockin' main part of the tune. I like the balance, not alternation. Yeah, I guess alternation between those two song sections. I like the balance that gave to the tune, and the overall feel. It made me think. This is a song. If Simon was singing, I could see Duran doing around the same time, like the kind of track that could have been on the Rio album or something like that. It had a bit of that vibe, and that, again, a little bit of keyboard, a little bit of saxophone. A rocky atmosphere, so it felt like, again, a tune that wouldn't have been out of place in their catalog if you switched out the singers' voices. Nevertheless, I think Hutchins does sound really compelling on the vocals, and there's some vocal flair to it. It's not like the biggest or most fiery I've heard his vocals, certainly, but I do think they hit the mark quite well in the context of the song. Lyrically, I really don't know what's happening. I mean, there was a line to it like being a love song or like a love song, and then something about, you don't get to look twice because we're going so fast, so maybe that could be about, your own trajectory, your own love life. By the time you try to characterize what you're seeing, you may have missed the opportunity, or maybe things are moving so fast between people, you don't get a sense to really control what's happening. Oh, there was another line too that now, of course, I'm going to blank on. But yeah, it seemed to be about love or romance or passion, but perhaps in a way that was speaking broadly. Like, not, here's this one guy who's going through this situation, but more like, this is what love's like, or this is, what happens when you're in these kind of circumstances. And maybe, the one thing is the intangible, or the spark for it all. So yeah, I'm surely missing something here. I surely will be looking forward to seeing people's comments and any insight you might offer. But yeah, the lyrics I struggled to keep up with on this one, in part because I was keying in to all the different sonic elements. In any case, another jammin' tune, another tune with a lot of energy and some guitar flair. I did in particular enjoy the guitar work on this one. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.